What's the one genre that never disappears, no matter what year or anime season it is? Yep, it's your classic isekai. And this year, there's even more of them. From a kid that has some very sus thighs to a guy who literally just wants to die. It's pretty hard to choose. That's why we're going to talk about the top 10 isekai anime of 2024. And it all starts with number 10, A Salad Bowl of Eccentrics.
兵士の10人や20人わらわが蹴散らしてよ。
蹴散らすな！この国で生きていきたいならクソファンタジー仕様の倫理観やめろ！
I kid you not, a reverse isekai. I know it's weird to start this list with, but hey, here I am. It all starts with a private detective taking home a girl from another world after she was suddenly shot out of a portal. And I kid you not, he just does it. There's no way the FBI is just gonna stand by and watch you take a random blonde kid to your home. What's even worse is that the girl's night ends up being homeless. Imagine being all rich and happy in your previous world and now you've just become a hobo. Anyway, I'm just gonna admit that this is genuinely a great show. Sure, it sounds like a very trashy reverse isekai at first, but you'd be surprised how interesting things can be when a princess and private detective work together. And I know what you're asking, where's the fan service? Well, that's what our beloved Hobo Night is for. We definitely can't involve the princess in any of our degeneracy, but the other characters, well, they're there too. It's like having the best of both worlds. You get to see our MC be happy, and at the same time, hey, we're happy. Number 9, Ishura. So, you might be one of those dudes that are like, hey, I'm too manly to watch a princess. But, well, first, you're missing out. And second, I might have just the thing for you. Ishura is this new show that's interesting, well, for a lot of reasons. It's set in a world where the Demon King is actually dead, and now there's this power struggle that involves a lot of kingdoms. We follow this swordsman who's anything but noble, and a girl who he saved as they try to rise to the top and become the new Demon King. Bro rocks a 2000s outfit with skinny jeans, but is a menace with that sword. I mean, he soloed a giant frickin' golem. So yeah, the animation's not like Demon Slayer, so stop whining, but hey, it is still good. Trust me, you just got shonen brain rot and can't appreciate a good show when you want to. This is the perfect show for people who just want to watch high-speed, badass scenes, but don't really care about the story. And I'm just being a total nerd here, but the world building is so cool. Number 8, Sasuki and Peeps. So why choose a princess when you can have a talking bird that's called Java Sparrow? Didn't even try to hide it, but what's even crazier is that this bird wasn't a pirate. It was a magician from another world. But I thought magicians were smart, so why did it grant powers to a middle-aged corporate man out of all people? You might think that he starts going on a journey to defeat the Demon King or something along those lines, but no! This man just starts his business and sells tech to less advanced civilizations because he has the power to travel between worlds. I gotta respect the guy's hustle. Still, war is coming and he needs to become the hero that everybody needs, not what everybody wants. If you want something original, then here it is. It's so crazy and hilarious that you wouldn't expect what's gonna happen next. Now, because this came from a light novel, the production quality isn't that consistent, but hey, who's consistent nowadays anyway? Am I right? I know you aren't. Yeah, I'm looking at you. You know who you are. Number 7, Mushoku Tense, Season 2, Part 2.
ボスがとうとう発情したにゃ。私の魅力のせいなの。罪な女なの。
I know that Season 2, Part 2 in the title can be a complete turnoff, but this anime is so good that you should watch it before I go into your room and force you to. And it just goes to show that an isekai with this many episodes is not just good, it's great. You follow a literal degenerate who gets reincarnated into another world, and there, he tries to live a proper life and not mess up again. I won't spoil what happens in the season, but what I will tell you is that you're gonna hate Rudius with all your heart. But as this series goes on, you're slowly going to understand his hardships and hopefully start liking him. This anime is as real as it gets. The fantasy world here is brutal, and there are some practices that you might not like. For example, his dad getting the maid pregnant. Still though, for me, Mushoku Tensei is a masterpiece, and it's slowly proving why it's called the grandfather of all isekai. The fight scenes are also so badass, with the animation being insanely good. just expect a red-headed tsundere and severe erectile dysfunction somewhere in the series. Number 6. Isekai Onsen Paradise.
あんな湯川構造派あんさん今さっきこの異世界に転生したばかりやで
そんなことはどうでもいい。服を脱いで全裸になりたまえ。
The Japanese title is so long that they had to translate it into 3 words, and if this series isn't an isekai, well, I don't know what is. Our boy Kozo likes hot springs. A little too much, which is why he died trying to find one. When he gets reincarnated in another world, guess what he does? Of course, he takes a bath in a hot spring, but this time with a God's messenger princess. Hey, at least he upgraded. But bro does not stop there, because more and more girls start joining his hot spring fetish, and as time goes by, we get to have some really spicy ecchi scenes. Yep, this anime is complete trash, but you know, a good kind of trash. The one where you lock the door before you put it on. And you know what? You'll just trade in around 40 minutes of your life because each episode is only 3 minutes long, and in exchange, you get a guy bathing in an onsen with cute girls. It's great if you're just having lunch and want a quick series, but come on, who's got the guts to watch this in public? Not only will you be shamed by people around you, but your ancestors will be so disappointed that they'll have to come back to life just to slap some sense into you. Number 5. Dalia in Bloom.
そう、そこをひねって。
But let's throw that trash where it belongs, to isekai garbage, and take a look at an anime that's actually good. And of course, the MC dies of overworking, because in Japan, working is more dangerous than guns, so he gets reborn into a magical world, and there, she's just as unlucky. Her fiancé breaks up with her before their wedding, but because she's a strong, independent woman, she tries her best. And her name is Dalia, and she's ready to bloom. That line was a banger, if I don't say so myself. Anyway, if it wasn't obvious enough, Dalia in Bloom is one of the more proper and better isekai anime we have this year. It has some of that Magnus Bride and Ascendance of a Bookworm. I mean, who doesn't like a badass female lead? Although the guy looks as generic as a duck, so I'm happy he's not the focus of the script, and I hope he never will be. I want to see Dalia bloom so much, I guess pun intended at this point. It's just so refreshing that at least we got something that doesn't rely on melons and fan service to carry it. Even though, you know, we're all degenerates here. Number 4. Loner Life in Another World.
誰にも口出しされない気ままな生活。何者にも代えがたい。
Imagine being a loner in this world and in the next. What a loser. Couldn't be me. But it might be because his class was teleported to him, and what's worse is that he was the last one to choose a good skill. So we got the weirdest ones because he, well, had no choice. Can this guy be the MC, or is he just gonna end up being betrayed? Have white hair and an eye patch. Well, that's Hajime from Autoporetta, but you get my point. The cover for this anime is also a bunch of girls running straight for him. That doesn't look like a loner to me. Of course, we have the trashy guys, the pretty girls, and, you know, no isekai is complete without a harem. It's the trailer. You can have a pretty straightforward expectation about it. I just hope that the MC isn't awkward because my brain cannot handle another one of those Midoriya lookalikes. They gotta stop. Number 3. No longer allowed in another world.
どうじゃ一つ旅の楽しい思い出話をわしに教えてくれないか
では君に棺桶の寝心地を教えてあげようか。
Bro's so depressed that he's not even allowed in another world. You might be even more surprised that we're going to talk about Osamu Dazai, but he's not from Bungo Stray Dogs. The only similarity they have is that they just want to die. His ultimate goal is to find the perfect place to just croak, and I mean, don't we all have that dream? Before he could pass away, though, he gets picked up by Truck-kun, and now, I bet you'd never see this coming, but he's in another world. If you thought the others were ridiculous, this one is the personification of what happens when people become so sad, they become insane. Like, there was one scene where they admitted that Truck-kun was a special service of the goddesses to isekai people. Overall, though, I love what they're doing. It knows what it is, so it doesn't have to take itself seriously. Just imagine a depressed writer from the 1940s going on a journey with a cat girl and an elf. Watching this was literally like a fever dream, equal to what I dreamt up when I had COVID. Number 2. Remonster.
そうそう精霊 石を使ってナイフ作ったの後で見てよ。
それは面白そうだ。ありがとう。なぜだ、二人のつねる強さが上がった。
What's worse than being reincarnated and still depressed? How about being reincarnated as quite literally the weakest goblin in existence? Tomokui must have done something horrific for the anime gods to hate him this much. Well, at least he has the memories of his previous life, and we all know how that turns out, right? Just look at Rimuru as a slime. Right now he has a city, but what could this goblin have? What's interesting about this is that it's rated 17+, so when I watched it, I expected some really intense things, but never in my life did I think I would enjoy watching goblin fan service of all things. Goblin Slayer wouldn't have any of this. Despite that, though, there's nothing really mind-breaking that happens here. I was surprised to see some comfortable storytelling, and the only gory part was the beginning of the series, but still a great watch, though, because, come on, monster waifus. Finally, number 1. Suicide Squad Isekai.
お前はいい女だ。
プリンちゃんの女だからね。
At the end of our list is an isekai anime that I honestly never thought I'd get to see in my lifetime. Slime isekai? Sure. Goblin isekai? You know, understandable. A guy that gets reincarnated as a vending machine? I can take that. But how in the hell did we end up with a Suicide Squad isekai? And for those of you who don't know, the Suicide Squad is basically a team of villains that work for a government organization in exchange for, you know, quote, freedom, and not getting their heads blown off. Harlequin, Peacemaker, Deadshot, and a bunch of other characters are stuck in an isekai world, and they kick butt. I mean, to be honest, you know, pun intended, there's no way the plot made any sense, but I think that's why it was so good. Because I could watch it without using my brain. There's no need for you to think. You just see those cool fight scenes and you'll be entertained. And I love it. And there you have it. The top 10 isekai anime of 2024 so far. As usual, you can, subscribe, like the video, and comment on what video you guys think I should do next. Help Papa Honest out so I can make better videos for y'all. I'll see you guys on the next one.